Mr. Speaker, I rise with your permission to make a not too brief statement on this, the sitting of the National Assembly to honor the 25 most remarkable teens for 2018.
The exemption is allowed. You have a little more flexibility, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of Parliament, Acting Director of Youth and staff of the Youth Empowerment Department, our 25 most remarkable teens, 2018, parents, well-wishers, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all. It is my distinct honor on this auspicious occasion to welcome you to this, the 8th anniversary of the 25 Most Remarkable Teens Awards ceremony. This is a celebrative moment in the life and history of our Federation, and more importantly, in the life of our 25 awardees this evening. I extend heartfelt congratulations to all 25 awardees for having given of yourselves in some fruitful service to humanity worthy of this esteemed and honorable recognition this evening. It is because of your thoughtfulness, selflessness, willingness, and courage to make a positive difference in the world around you why you are here this evening. I also express sincere commendations and profound gratitude to the Director and staff of the Department of Youth Empowerment for their ingenuity and timeless effort to ensure sustainability and continuity of this very significant national hallmark. This ceremony constitutes an integral part of the annual November Youth Month celebrations, which have so far successfully engaged copious numbers of youth from all across St. Kitts and the Federation as a whole. Under the theme, Preserving Our Land of Beauty, the St. Kitts Department of Youth Empowerment has embarked on the first ever prestigious eco-arts exhibition, which splendorously decorates the walls of the hallways and corridors of the monumental cable building on Keyon Street. The superb original art pieces have been carefully and free-handedly designed by the art students from all of the high schools in St. Kitts and Nevis. The exhibition is currently ongoing, and I invite the general public to spare a brief moment to visit the display and patronize scholarly art development in our education system. Other events that have occurred so far for Youth Month include the Intra-High School Culinary Arts Challenge, a one-day first aid certification workshop for our youth leaders from over 35 youth groups in St. Kitts, and an island-wide bike run which saw an unprecedented 120 young persons and persons young at heart up to age 65 riding in conventional and electronic style. And now, tonight, we are here at the most distinguished event of them all, the 25 Most Remarkable Teens Award Ceremony. Mr. Speaker, the attainment of a most remarkable teen status in our Federation is a very eminent achievement comparative to any global achievement attained in any section of the Eastern or Western Hemisphere of the world. Our remarkable teens tonight have joined the pantheon of young changemakers and activists who have captured the world's attention and influenced us with the immense scope of human scientific and social accomplishments, from the discovery by young scientists from the European Organization for Astronomical Research of Super-Earth, LHS, 1140, and your planet, that is the next best candidate planet for human extraterrestrial living, to the invention of metallic hydrogen, a genuine superconductor which can revolutionize everything from energy storage to rocketry, to the agitation of a 16-year-old Royoff Alumedi who proposed Apple's new emoji with a headscarf because, as she says, it's something important to my identity. To 15-year-old Puerto Rican Salvador Colon, who launched a Light and Hope for Puerto Rico generosity campaign to raise $75,000 within 4 days to purchase solar lamps, hand-operated washing machines, and other supplies for his neighbors after his community went dark after Hurricane Maria. These are common young people with an uncommon ambition. This is the same uncommon ambition that brought this vibrant, innovative cohort of awardees who will be presented before us tonight. I say to them that you were chosen tonight not because of your greatness, but because of the simple things you do that made those around you great. And this is in keeping with and commensurate to the primal aim of my Ministry of Youth, and by extension reflective of the agenda of the Team Unity government to develop a generation of youth who will not be afraid to stand up and stand out to perform acts of goodness within our society. And we, as government leaders, will continue to offer our support for all youth development in this regard. Mr. Speaker, I am proud to affirm to you that St. Kitts and Nevis is in the leadership position as far as youth development is concerned. Just about 4 months ago, we had the esteemed privilege of joining our regional counterparts at the Caribbean Forum on Population, Youth and Development conducted by the CARICOM Secretariat, the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, ICLAC, the United Nations Population Fund. The forum was organized to offer Caribbean countries a timely opportunity to assess youth policies and programs within the framework of the Lisbon Declaration on Youth Policies and Programs and other agreements, including the World Program of Action for Youth, the Caribbean Youth Development Goals, and the Commonwealth Youth Development Index. I am pleased to indicate that at that forum, St. Kitts and Nevis gained high eminence for having formulated the most up-to-date and most comprehensive federal youth policy among all CARICOM member states and Latin America. Our youth policy, which was tabled just about a year ago to date, makes provisions for and caters to the developmental needs of every social grouping of youth within our country. It is loaded with necessary support and protections for youth and is drafted within the framework of the Lisbon Declaration and driven by the 17 Sustainable Development Goals enshrined within the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And, Mr. Speaker, I would like to commend the interview and selection panel for a job well done in using these 17 Sustainable Development Goals as a basis for conducting their interviews and identifying the illustrious 25 most remarkable teens who will be poised before us this evening. The goals are the blueprint to achieve better and a more sustainable future for all. They address the global challenges we face, including those related to poverty, inequality, climate, environmental degradation, prosperity, and peace and justice. The goals interconnect And in order to leave no one behind, it is important that we achieve each goal and target by 2030 and be on par with the world around us. I would like to strongly advocate that our civil society begin incorporating these sustainable development goals into the fabric of their motive for engagements. I therefore issue a mandate and call upon all youth and youth groups in all of our communities and to all of our public and private institutions, our churches, our schools, our business partners, to get up and get involved. Adopt one or two of these goals and take action to create a better world for St. Kitts and Nevis. There must be some little thing that we can do towards the achievement of one of these goals. Goal 1, no poverty. Donate what you don't use. Goal 2, zero hunger. Avoid throwing away food. Goal 3, good health and well-being for people. Vaccinate your children, improve public health. Goal 4, quality education. Help children in your community to read and write. Goal 5, gender equality. Stop sexist language, indecent behavior, and violence against women. Goal 6, clean water and sanitation. Avoid wasting water. Goal 7, affordable and clean energy. Use only efficient appliances. Go green. Goal 8, decent work and economic growth. Create conditions for citizens to have quality employment. Goal 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Think of new ways to repurpose old materials. Goal 10, reducing inequalities. Raise your voice against discrimination against disadvantaged and marginalized populations. Goal 11, sustainable cities and communities. Bike or walk to keep our country's air clean. Goal 12, responsible consumption and production. Recycle paper, plastic, and aluminum. Goal 13, climate action. Take action to limit global warming. Goal 14, life below water. Clean our beaches, keep the oceans safe. Goal 15, life on land. Halt and reverse land degradation and prevent soil erosion from our slopes. Goal 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. Combat gang violence, sexual violence, and human trafficking. And finally, Goal 17, partnerships for the goals. Cooperate, agitate, elevate. These ordinary approaches will have extraordinary effect in preserving our federation for generations to come. They are the embodiment of what makes a true remarkable teen, and I commend our remarkable teens for leading the way. Awardees, this is your night. Revel in it. Celebrate the works of your own imagination, your own hands. And as you do so, I wish to give you 3 tiny bits of advice. 1, never stop following your passion. Passion is energy. Passion is the genesis of genius. Steve Jobs once said, you have to be burning with an idea or a problem or a wrong that you want to right. If you're not passionate enough from the start, you'll never stick out. Never cower to conformity. Your success in your respective areas of expertise will always be shaped by the courage of your convictions. The herd mentality is the killer of innovation. Followers are seldom remembered. Create your own think tank and never be afraid to think outside of the box. Goal 3, well, not goal 3, but the third piece of advice, commit yourself to lifelong learning. Nuclear physicist and Episcopal priest Dr. William Pollard stated, Learning and innovation go hand in hand. The arrogance of success is to think that what you did yesterday will be sufficient for tomorrow. Never settle for doing what you're accustomed to doing. Always seek ways of making the good you do better and your better best. Always gravitate to ways of improving your art and service. Tonight, I urge every individual ensconced within the walls of this sacred precinct of Parliament and those in the viewing and listening audiences, as you are enthralled by the touching stories of charitable deeds, self-sacrifice, triumph, through tragedy, determination to beat all odds, love of family, love of country, love of God, to make this event a life-changing experience for yourselves. I say thanks to you, Mr. Speaker, and to my colleague members of Parliament for opening up the doors of Parliament to host this August event. I thank the 25 most remarkable teens for being here. I commend and thank the parents and guardians of these teens for the untiring effort, support, and sacrifice that they make daily for their children so that they could have been singled out to reach this point. I thank all of the public and private stakeholders who have conglomerately contributed to the success of the program this evening. Special mention must be made of Mackie Hazel Funeral Home for the first ever private sponsor in the history of this ceremony for their substantial contribution. And I also thank the ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation for their annual commitment. Mr. Speaker, it is with great pleasure and serene satisfaction I hereby present to you the 2018 25 most remarkable teens in St. Kitts and Nevis. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.